Welcome everyone to Chatz with Charnie. Thanks so much for coming back to the channel. If you have not already, please like and subscribe to my channel. Please like this video. Today we continue with the topic CASA. How did you do it? Today we have Darren Macdonald with us as a special guest. Darren and I actually worked together previously, and that's why I just thought he was going to be a great candidate for this video. Darren, welcome to Chatz with Charnie. Please tell the viewers a bit more about yourself, where you're working, and what's your current job title.
No, thank you, Charnie, for having me on the show. I mean, typically when you think of a show, I think of a TV show, but having it on YouTube is just the same. So thank you for having me on. Yeah, so just a little bit about myself. I've been born and raised in Johannesburg. I currently reside in Edenvale, or as we like to call it, the Vale. Yeah, I like to stay active. I've got plenty of passions. I like to keep myself busy, including which, as you know already, Lego, watching movies and playing video games. Keeps me active and away from work, because sometimes work can be a bit tiring, even though you do enjoy it. So I currently work with, as Charnie mentioned before, with previously with at Macdonald. I'm currently on a technical accounting client based on the West Coast of America, which you can clearly see in my background. The head offices are based in San Francisco. So I thought, let me add that flavor to the video. And yeah, I've been there since July last year, and so I'm enjoying actually pretty much every second of it. With the team there and the exposure to US GAAP and yeah, the different people. And even though I haven't met them in person, you still get that personality through video calls, client meetings, and just general engagement.
Lovely, awesome. Yes, like working remotely for a company in a different country, it is sometimes trying in terms of not seeing these people face to face, but as you said, the personality comes through the video calls and the work meetings and the team meetings that you have. So yeah, that is great. Darren, tell us, what made you decide to become a chartered accountant?
So I think it all started with the fact that, I did accounting back at school. And I think there was just something there that I enjoyed about it. Debits and credits. Of course I knew it was more than that, but I enjoyed just understanding how to account for transactions, even though, as I said, it was basic back then. It felt like it's something that called to me. I just had this gut feeling that it's something that I wanted to pursue. And just talking to some people that I knew, there was a lot of opportunities with the CA route. You can work at a public accounting firm or go into corporate or start your own business. So there was a lot of variety. So I felt, let me start with something that can give me that stepping stone to go to broader avenues. So even though I don't have something currently in mind at that point in time, I know when I have the opportunity to make a decision, I can do that. So that was quite, yeah, that definitely led me to decide going onto the CA route. I thought I could have, one of my other choices was actuarial sciences, but based on chatter and that sort of thing, there weren't as many opportunities as a CA, even though I was mathematical and analytical, maths being what was probably my favorite subject back at school. I just felt that the accounting route was going to be a bit of a better option in terms of that. So that was definitely my reason for going for CA.
And you're 100% correct in the sense that the CA route definitely does open many doors for you. Like once you get your qualification, you don't have to just stay in audit. You don't have to stay as a technical accountant or financial accountant. There are so many avenues that you can go into. There are so many CAs that are now creatives or working in communications, working in HR. Like you can go into any industry that you want to because of this background, which is a great,
exactly,
as you say, a foundation for yourself. Darren, please tell us, how long was your journey to become a CASA? And this is, starting from your first year at university all the way up until you passing your APC and registering. How long was that journey, and was it worth it?
So to answer your second question, it was definitely worth it. I think just in terms of, again, going back to the points about the opportunities that you have, like you've got so many choices. You can stay in something that's very financial, or you can broaden yourself and do something that's completely out of your, not say comfort zone, but completely different to what you studied. But because you've got that background and the skills that you develop through your articles, you can definitely take it in any direction you want. So no, definitely. So like currently for myself, growing my career in an area that I'm very passionate about is technical accounting. If I just enjoy just learning how to account for something, and then also again learning now US GAAP and comparing that to how different and similar it is to IFRS is quite stimulating, if that makes sense. It's rewarding to know those differences. And yeah, I've through this whole route, I've managed to grow and invest in a lot of my hobbies, as I mentioned before, Lego, and now actually my opportunity to purchase my first home, which is
Wow.
quite great. Yeah, it's only going to be ready next year. But you know, you got to get in on the early phases to get a little bit of a discount, you know, as they would say. Yeah, so, and then also the biggest thing was having that opportunity to actually go to Belgium on a secondment with Deloitte back in last year, 2021. I was there for 4 months, and just getting that exposure to a different work environment, culture, and people. It just gives you a different perspective on, you know, how different is different places around the world to where I've been living in South Africa. And it's nice to grow that interest in learning about these different things. Yeah, and then just going back to your first question, how long was my journey? So my journey was 7 years, even though I had a little bit of a hiccup along the way. So I did rewrite my APC in 2020, and I was successful when I got my results in April 2021. And again, it was more of a shock, because it wasn't something I was expecting, making the honors roll on my second
Wow.
attempt, which was humbling and rewarding. And just like, even though I had that stumble, I still managed to come on top of that failure. So for me, it was quite a journey. So it was 7 years, 4 years at varsity, 1 year of academic articles at WITS, 2 years at Deloitte, and then a secondment later. I qualified as a CA when I registered in July of 2021.
That's an amazing achievement, being on the honors roll. I mean, those of us in the industry and in the qualification know how difficult those exams are, both the ITC exam as well as the APC exam. And I mean, it's a grueling 8 hours sitting in front of your laptop and just typing away, like I remember, I think I only took like 5 minutes to eat. I went out quickly, took like a bathroom break, 5 minutes to eat, and then came back in. So really well done on that, Darren. You can definitely be proud of yourself for that. Darren, tell the viewers and tell me, was there any event that took place during those 7 years that really changed your perspective in terms of how much you wanted to get this qualification? And was there any challenge that you had to overcome that made you feel that I need to get this, and no matter what comes my way, I am going to achieve my goal?
So I think it points back to that APC fail on my first attempt. So because it was my first, like, I mean, during varsity, you fail a test here and there, but I've never failed anything that's major that's gonna set you back. If you fail an exam during varsity, you're going to repeat the year. So something like that, I've never really experienced. So this was something that was very unexpected, within myself, because I know how much effort and work I put in. And even for people that knew me, from friends and family and colleagues, all of them were, when they found out the news, it was just as a shock to them and confusion to, the same way it was to me. But everyone was so supportive, and it was quite not say humbling, but rewarding to know that these people that were there to support you through the journey, even though this happened. Like, they knew my capabilities. It's just one small, when you trip over the stairs, it's just that one fall, but you can get up again and triumph even further. So I think what I learned from it was, I think there's a tendency, I think this is also just generally, just these days, a lot of people just like to experience things now. I want to get the rewards now. I want to achieve everything now. But sometimes it does take a bit longer than you expected. And you do need to, sometimes you move one step back, but you can move 2 steps forward. And I think this failure, I think, led me to rethink that and restructure, how I think about, how I approach the studying, for example, or just general outlook on life. That even though this happens, it's definitely not the end. Everyone has their journey, their own journey. So someone can do something within, a year or two where you take maybe 5 years. It doesn't take away from the success that comes at the end of it. Your journey to get to that success. So for you, it means so much more. And I think it kind of fits into the idea of an underdog. I think we always like to support an underdog, someone or something that, seems to be, under the covers, but then all of a sudden they bloom and they get to where they need to. But there was a lot of fight and journey to get to that point, if that makes sense. So I think that was definitely my outlook and mindset shift on this.
Darren, I actually watched something recently that said failure just means that you need to try again. And that's exactly what you did. And not only did you try again, but you were so successful that you came out on the honors roll. And that is really an achievement. Like I said before, it is a privilege, it's an honor to be on there, but it also shows your capabilities and how hard you worked. Because of that failure, you did not want to experience that again. And you worked so hard, you strived for perfection and for, real competency, because that's exactly what the exam tells you. It says that you're competent. So well done on that. And I think, your story can help somebody else who's, maybe not made it in their first ITC exam, not made it in their first APC exam. But, because of this, you can encourage somebody else to try again, work harder, ABC, add bump to chair, and just study and study and, believe in yourself that you can do it. That failure isn't the end all of everything. So thank you for sharing that story with me and the viewers, Darren. So Darren, you've already said that, you passed APC, you got into the honors roll. Tell us, what was that feeling? Because I'm sure, there was a bit of anxiety leading up to what is this result actually going to say? And what did you feel when you saw your name on that piece of paper and it said passed?
Yeah, so maybe I should paint a little bit of a story. So I think it was the 23rd of April when it was released. It was a Friday. And at the time zones in Belgium and South Africa were the same because it was daylight savings then. So it was just before 4 p.m. I was working earlier that day, but emotions that they were like a roller coaster. At a point you were so nervous that you couldn't think or type, and then you calm yourself down, and then you're okay, and then it's it's the same cycle over and over again until it's those last 5 minutes. And I think for those last 5 minutes, I know you shouldn't do it because it ends up creating more, but they count down on the Psycho website, just to put in your exam number or ID just to see what your result is. You're just staring at the countdown because I just couldn't think of anything else. Because at this point, it's like, this is my second attempt. I've done everything I could. I did everything, not necessarily everything different, but I found 1 or 2 things I could do differently. And I was more self-critical, and I did my self-reflection. So I put the things in place to make sure that it won't happen again. And it was like, the 10, 9, 8, the last few seconds. And the site basically, was crashed, because a lot of people were probably doing exactly the same thing as myself. So I was sort of like panicking, what should I do now? Because the SMS, as it gets released in stages. So you may not get it at 4, you may get it only an hour later, half an hour later. So I said to myself, well, the only way I'm going to know now, and again, this was not an expectation. I thought, let me just look at the Psycho's press release and see if my name is on the honors roll, because that's, for me, at this point in time, was the only way for me to find out without waiting. And then I saw my name when I loaded it, and I can tell you, I screamed so loud. I swear my neighbors, I don't know, they probably thought I was like slaughtering something in there. I don't know, but it was, I screamed, and it was just this overwhelmment of emotion, and it just came out all at once. And yeah, the first person I called was my mom, because she's definitely been my biggest support. And I was like, Ma, I passed. And yeah, the way she, okay, obviously I didn't say it like that, but with the way she replied, she was also over, yeah, a lot of excitement and just passion for me in that result. And telling all my friends that were there at in Belgium as well, because they knew I was waiting for the result, and just to share it with them too was great. And yeah, then the outpour again with friends and family who were there for me at the beginning when I failed the first attempt, and then they reaching out to me, saying, Darren, like we told you, you're gonna get this and more, and that sort of thing. And I couldn't be more grateful for that outpour of messages from my biggest supporters. And even though I didn't ask them to be my supporters, they were there for me. And it's such a warm feeling, because, and I think you can also agree, this whole journey with CA, and I think everyone else on this journey, is you're never alone. You're not on your own. Yes, you write the exams on your own, but you've got so many people there backing you, supporting you, that pillar of support, no matter if it's technical support or emotional support. It all accumulates into one sort of backing that you can't be more thankful for, if I want to put it that way.
It definitely is a humbling experience, and so much gratitude that you feel. And it's amazing to have a support structure, family, friends, colleagues, people who know you since you were a small little boy, or people who've been with you at university, even your lecturers congratulating you. It is a time of immense joy in your life. And I'm so happy for you that you had so many people, even though you were far away from your friends and family. I mean, you were in a different country. Not only a different country, you were in a different continent, on a different hemisphere, and you still had people supporting you and showering you, with love and congratulations. So that's really an amazing experience for you. Darren, you shared with us your ups and downs. You shared with us some really, really good ups in terms of your achievements that you were able to achieve during your CASA journey. Is there any word of advice that you have for somebody who's, going to write ITC, going to write APC, a word of encouragement to continue and to pursue their goal?
I think the first thing that comes to mind is determination and perseverance. That's what it is when you tackle something again that you weren't successful the first, second, third time. How many ever times you've stumbled, getting yourself up and doing it again, I think teaches you more, and also gives you a better perception, even from other people, that you've got this tenacity to better yourself and to try again. And I think that's such an important lesson, which I feel is a bit, sometimes I think there's just the whole schooling system, just education, for example, in general. I think there's still this little stigmatism on people that, that fail. It doesn't mean you're less, intelligent or capable than someone else. It just means your circumstances were a bit different, and you just have to try again. And for me, that's such an important lesson for anyone, that if you can get up and be successful the next time, it's more than necessarily anyone who might not have experienced failure at all, because those qualities, they could never necessarily show if you don't fail something. So for me, that's such a positive outlook that you can have. I guess I am a very optimistic person, so I would like to think that if you can try again and be successful the next time, it's all worth it.
So determination and perseverance, guys. You heard it here from Darren Macdonald. Thank you so much for sharing that encouragement. Darren, I know that a lot of people need it. It's not only in a sense when we fail academically or we fail in terms of an exam or test that leads us to our qualification, but it's just failure in general in life. What we perceive as individuals to be failure, it's to, like you said, be determined and persevere through those challenges until you reach your goal, whatever that might be. Thank you so much, Darren, for being on Chats with Charnie. You've been a great guest and really appreciate all the insights that you have shared and experiences that you have shared with us. We wish you well for the remainder of your career. You've just started out, so there's still so much more for you to experience and for you to explore in this world.
Still
So
a youngling,
thank you.
as one would
Yeah,
say.
you're still very young. Thank you everyone for joining Chats with Charnie again this week. Please look forward to more videos. And if you like this video, please show it by liking it down below. Have a great one, everyone. Bye.